Hello everyone and welcome back to Notes Naka. In this video we are going to look at FP growth algorithm of data mining, and what we do in this is, first of all, this is our question. We have our transaction ID given and a list, and we have to find out the frequent item sets that go together. So the first step is, first of all, we will find out a table of the frequency. So we have how many distinct items do we have? I1, I2, I3 and I4 and I5. So we will write I1, I2, I3, I4 and I5 and find out the frequency. The frequency of one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6. I2 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Similarly, we will find out the rest of the frequencies. That will be 6, 2, 2. So our first step is complete. In the second step, what we will do is order these. We will write it in ascending order. That means the highest one will be kept first. So we will have I2 7, I1 6, I3 6, I4 2, I5 2, and if they are same you can write it in any order. It won't matter, but since 1 is first item, so we will write 1 before 3. So our second step is also done. For the third step, what we do is we will write all of this. We will reorder these. So reordering these will mean that I1, I2, I5. What comes first? I2, then I1 and then I5. So that's how we will reorder. So we will have I2, I1 and I5. So I will reorder these and get back to you. So after reordering, we will have these. So we basically reordered these by ascending order looking at this table. So that is basically all we did. Now the third step is, step 3 is building the tree. So to build the tree, what we will do is, first we start with a null. So we have a null and we start looking from here, the first transaction. We have I2, I1, I5. So we will make the nodes for each one since we have nothing right now. So we will start with I2 because it occurs first. And when I2 is occurring first, how many times have we seen I2? Only once. So we will write 1 over here. Then we have I2, I1. This also we saw it once. And I5. This also we saw it once. And then we have I2, I4. So I2 again. I2 we saw it again. So we will add 1. This will become 2. And I2 and I4, we do not have any I4. So we will make 1. And we have seen it once. Then I2, I3, I2, I3, and we saw it once. Then we have we didn't increment this, so don't forget to do that. I2, I1, I4. This will become 4, I1 will become 2, and we do not have a I4, so we will add 1. Then I1, I3. We do not have any direct link to I1, so we will make 1. I1, we saw it once. Then I3, and this node also we saw it once. We already have one I1, but this is a new node, and this node we have seen it once. So that's how we assign the number. Then we have where were we? I1, I3, then I2, I3. Then I2, I3, 4 will become 5, and I2, I3, I3 will become 2. Then we will have I2, I3, I1, I3, I1, I3, both will increment. And we have I2, I1, I3, I5. I2 will become 6, I1 will become 3, I3 we do not have I3, we will add 1 and saw it once, and then I5, and we saw this also once. Then we have I2, I1, I3, 6, 7, 4, these are our finals. And I3, this will become 2. This is our final. So we have made the entire FP tree. Now these can be connected with these nodes. There will be a link over here, and the I2 will be connected like this over here to this 2, and I1 to this one, and this I1 will be connected to this I1. So you can put all the nodes, but it will only look messy, so I have not done that. Now the next step is very important and a bit confusing to understand. So let's look at the next step. So this is our final step where we are doing mining FP tree by creating conditional pattern bases. So our table will look something like this. We have our items over here. We will have I5, I4, I3, I1 because we are starting from the very end, I5, I3, I4, I1. And we will not include I2 because it is one of the child nodes, and since it is one of the child node, it will not have any frequent item set. So this is what we are trying to form. Now let me tell you step by step how we do this. So we will start with I5. So to find out the conditional pattern base, what we do first is we find the path. So we have for I5, let's write it over here for I5, okay. So I5, I2, I1, I5, I2, I1, I5, and we have I2, I1, I3, I5, I2, I1, I3, I5. So first step, find out the path. Second step, what is the final destination frequency? Both are 1. So we have this. Now what we do, since we are finding it for I5, we will remove I5 and we have this, and this is our conditional pattern base. You can see over here I2, I1, I3, 1 and I2, I1, 1. This is our conditional pattern base for I5. Now to find out the conditional FP tree, what we do is, in this same, we find out the frequency of each occurrence. So we have I2. For I2, what we will do is, for I2, this frequency is 1 and 1. So we will add both and we have 2. I1, we will add both, we will have 2, and I3, we will have 1. Now our minimum support is 2, which is given in the question. So since this one is less, we will remove this one and these two will be our answer. So conditional FP tree will come out to be I2, 2, I1, 2. I hope this is clear. Now we will talk about frequent pattern generated. To find out the frequent pattern generated, we basically, what we found over here, the conditional FP tree, we combine it with I5. So we have I2, I5, which will become 2, and I1, I5, which will become 2. So this is our frequent patterns generated. Now let's look for I4. So first step, find out the distance, I mean the path. So for I4, I2, I4, I2, I4. Another is I2, I1, I4, I2, I1, and I4. And the final destination frequency for both is 1, 1. Now we remove I4, and this is our conditional pattern base. I2, 1, I2, 1, and I2, I1, 1. So after this, for conditional FP tree, what we will do is find out the frequency. So for I2, it will be 1 plus 1, 2. I1 will be 1. Now since this is less, we will remove this, and I2, 2 will be our conditional FP tree. Now for frequent pattern, we just combine it with I4, I2, I4, and this is 2. Now let's look for I3. For I3, we will have, what are our paths? So first path is I2, I3, I2, I3, which is 2, and then we have I2, I1, I3, which is 2, and I1, I3, which is 2. So we remove this one, and this is our conditional pattern base. So I2, 2, I1, I2, I1, I2, I1, 2, and I1, 2. Now for conditional FP tree, we find out the frequencies. So frequency over here for I2 will be 2 plus 2, 4. For I1, it will be 2. This I1 is different, so it will be I1 is 2. We have I2 is 2 plus 2, 4, and we have I2, I1, 1 also. I2, I1, which will be 2. So these are the single paths. So our conditional FP tree will come out to be, we will discard this because this is already included in this one, and I2 is 4, sorry, this is 4, and I1 is 2. So I2 is 4 and I1 is 2 for this one. So we will have I2 4 comma I1 2 as one of our paths and I1 2 as one of our paths. So we will have I2 4 comma I1 2 and another one will be I1 2. So I hope this is understandable. So for frequent patterns generated, it is quite tricky over here. So what we do is we combine I2 with I3. I2 with I3 when combined, we will get 4 because I2 is the larger value of I2 is 4. So we have I2 I3 as 4. I2 I3 as 4, and then we will have another one will be I1 and I3. We combine I1 and I3. So when combining I1 and I3, I1 itself is 2 and I3 when combined with it also has 2. So those will also be added. So I1 I3 is 4. If this is not the logic, then please guys comment down and tell us. It will be really helpful for everyone, but that's what I am understanding, so that's what I told you. So please comment down if it's not like that, please. So we have I1 I3 as 4, and at the last we have I2 I1 I3. When we combine everything, I2 I1 and I3, then what do we get? We get 2 over here, you can see. So I2 I1 I3 is 2. I2 I1 I3 is 2, and that is the answer in the book as well. Similarly, I1 you can calculate yourself, that is quite simple, and the answer for I1 is I2 I4 I2 4, then we will have I2 4, and then we will have I2 I1 4. This is our answer, and this question is from the book Data Mining Concepts and Techniques, 3rd edition, the Morgan Kaufman series in data management system, and the page number is 259. Page number is 259. So you can check it out over there. I will leave the entire name, and if I find the link to the PDF in the description below. And this is all about FP growth. I hope you understood the basic concept and how we do solve this problem, and I hope it is helpful for you. If I have done any type of mistake, then please leave it down in the comment section so that everyone can learn from it. And we will see you again in the next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.